Okay, so now we're gonna do our 0 to 60 time. What do you guys think? 2 to 3? Maybe 4 minutes? Let's give it a shot. Let's go! Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Finally! 60 miles an hour! That was only a hamburger and half of a Sprite later, but it made it. I think there is a little bit room for improvement though. Let's see if we can go improve it. Well, we took her on our first 0 to 60 test run, and there was about 2 hamburgers and half a Sprite. Ain't never seen anybody measure 0 to 60 time in a hamburger, but that's what we're gonna do today. That is just room for improvement. So we got a good bottom baseline to start with, and I have a theory. The theory is if I make this truck go faster, I won't be so fat. Let's try it. Gosh dang, I was so excited to get this Cummins on the road that I got past pleasantries. My name's Weston, this is my channel, and how are you guys doing today? Now, make sure you hang around. We do all kinds of cool stuff. We do F350 Cummins swaps, we got a Mustang, we do tractors, bulldozers, and everything in between. And we've got a vanilla bull over there on Instagram. We like him. We just posted a video of him playing with a ball on Instagram, so make sure you go over there and follow me over there. All right, let's get into it. Let's make power. You might be wondering, how are we gonna get the power up on those fummins? And this is how. Now, I reached out to Powerdriven Diesel because they are about the leader when it comes to 12 valve and 24 valve performance. They hooked us up. Now, what I've got here is I believe this is the 500 horsepower budget builder fuel set. Injectors, we got some delivery valves, some governor springs, a full travel kit. They actually send you a custom socket, which is made by Snap-on, the only Snap-on tool I've got, to remove the delivery valves, which is awesome. A lot better than a pair of vice grips. Don't ask me how I know. We've also got an AFC Live kit, which I've only heard stories about something like this. I've never actually been around one. I kind of know how they work, but this will be really interesting. I got it upside down. There we go. This will be really interesting. We can tune our fuel rate and our power settings from inside the cab, which is something that you've never been able to do before on an old mechanical 12 valve. And then when we want to get rowdy, there's a switch right over here on the side that we flip over, and that's party mode. That gives us all the possible power we can make. They sent me everything in the kitchen sink, didn't they? Now this should be enough to make the Cummins blow plenty of smoke, make plenty of power, and we'll probably need a bigger turbo than what we got on there, but it'll work for right now. We should be able to tune our power down with the AFC Live kit. You know, we can put this budget power kit in there, make probably around 350, 400 horsepower on our current turbo. Here's our... Come on. What did you say? That is not enough.
It's not enough.
Our current turbo will make about 350, 400 horsepower.
So with a bigger turbo, we get more power, right?
Yeah, with a bigger turbo, we get more power.
No, more power, right?
More power.
Well, we need more than that.
No, more power. Or we could put 2 turbos on it and have lots of power.
Yeah, okay.
So we've got some pretty nice, cool parts that we can throw at the fummins. Obviously, some governor springs are going to be a must because the ones we've got in there right now are just factory ones, and they start defueling the engine right around 2200 RPM, which is really, really early. So you can't get up there to that higher power range to get the whole turbo worked out. But I think these will work pretty good. I got faith. So if any of you guys are thinking about adding power to your 12 valve or 24 valve Cummins, go ahead and get over to Powerdriven Diesel. They sell all these kits. You can go all the way up to 800, 900 horsepower if you want to, and all the way back down to 350 horsepower kit. I think this one's the 500. I'd have to look in the bag or the box just to make sure, but I think it'll be plenty for what we want to do. Now, we can't go crazy with this truck quite yet because the 5R110, the factory Ford transmission we got, will reliably hold about 500 horsepower, and that'll put us right around that 1,000 to 1,200 foot-pounds of torque number. Once you get past that, it gets unreliable. So We just kind of want to keep it where we won't blow up the factory Ford transmission too. All right, let's do this. Let's get this pulled in here. Well, the first thing we got to do is we got to get the driver's side intercooler tube off. Then we've got to take and pull the injector lines off. And then we'll decide if we're going to do injectors, delivery valves, or governor springs first. I'm leaning towards injectors first. It's out of control, Weston.
It's like a big old turbo.
Yeah, I know. I do sneeze pretty loud.
Know that.
I bet them wasps are a little shaken up. Alright, so we got our injector lines pulled off, which Dom set over there on top of the toolbox, and now we're pulling the return line off of our injectors, which is this line here that runs down the side of the injectors. After we get that pulled off, we're going to put a big socket on there, break them injectors loose, grab them with a big pair of vice grips and pull them out. It's a plan anyway. Alright, so we got all of our old injectors out. We got all 6 of them, I hope. I hope there's no more hiding in there because they were kind of a pain to get out. But anyway, all of our copper crush washers came out with them, which is a good deal because I hate to fish around in the injector board trying to get them out. Now here's our brand new power-driven diesel injectors, and look at them. Ain't they so shiny? I don't know if we're deserving of stuff this nice. Anyway, we got our copper crush washer on the end of it. That way we don't have no leaks. We're gonna go ahead and drop this injector in one at a time, get them tightened down, get all the lines put back on, the return lines anyway, and then we'll move on to putting our delivery valves in. Oh, I'm so excited. We're gonna make smoke, guys. And power too. Look, all of them are out except for one. Dom's gonna do the last one though. I'm gonna show Dom how to pull delivery valves. All right, Dom, you know how to do this?
Not really.
Yeah, don't hit your head on the hood. That's a good place to start. So, see that back one right there? Mm-hmm. Untwist it, loosen it. There you go. Don't pull it out. Just loosen it all the way. All right, don't let it fall out. Now, you're going to tilt it over to the side, and there's going to be a spring in there. Tilt it over like that way. There's going to be a spring in there. You're going to stick that screwdriver in there so that spring don't fall out. Pull it out just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, you see that spring? Take your other hand, stick that screwdriver in that spring so that spring won't fall out, and then just hold it upside down once you get it out. There you go. And that is how you pull a delivery valve holder. And the reason you want to do that is, see that spring has got a bunch of shims on top of it, and you don't want that falling out. And then all we do now is grab a little magnet, pull our delivery valve out, pull our shim out, drop a new one in, call it a day. So we got our old torque wrench here, which this is something we're not really used to using, but we use it every once in a while. These delivery valves, you kind of got to make sure to tighten these things up, especially because if you stop about halfway through tightening them, there's a chance you could turn the delivery valve inside the barrel, and we just don't want to do that. It's very rare that it happens, but you want to just be careful so it don't happen. Now the first thing is, we torque all these down to 25 foot-pounds, and then we come back, and in one solid motion, without stopping, we tighten them all the way down to 80. So I got the torque wrench set for 25 right now. There we go. Good to go. They're tightened down. Yes! We done it. So we got all of our delivery valves put in, we got them torqued down. Now what we need to do is get the AFC housing off, which is this right here. It controls your boost referenced fuel. Boost referenced fuel. That's what it's called. Boost referenced fuel, which allows it to give more fuel once the engine builds boost. Which, this is what our AFC housing, or our AFC Live hooks to. We changed a lot of the stuff in here to hook up AFC Live. So let's get this thing taken off. It should be a breeze. Shouldn't be really much. The other nice thing about it, since this is an industrial model, it's got some advantages, and the advantages is there's no tamper-proof screws on the top of this AFC housing. Whereas if this was a regular pickup engine, these would be tamper-proof screws that you'd have to drill holes into and everything else. Now, Guy will probably have to pull this forward a little bit to let the foot loose. And there we go. And that is our AFC housing. Look at it, so clean. Now we got a lot of stuff to adjust in here, but the other thing we need to do while we have this apart is right here is your fuel plate. This is what everybody talks about when they put different fuel plates in trucks or whatever it may be. We are just going to completely remove this plate because we ain't going to need it with our AFC Live kit. Our AFC Live is going to control all the fueling for this truck, so this is unneeded. So we're going to grab this fuel plate out of here real quick. Got both our bolts out for the fuel plate, and this lifts out. And as you can see, that's a factory fuel plate that hasn't been monkeyed around or anything. It's got all the factory nubs and everything on it. 24066. I don't know how many horsepower plate that is, but it's a factory one. Anyway, stay. Good. Let's get over here and work on our AFC housing. Now we're going to take this over to the bench. That way we got a little bit of an easier time with it. And take it. Here we are in Westen sweatshop. You know what? I see people all the time wanting to have saunas and stuff in their house. You know what? Just come out here and help me work on the fummins. This is just like a sauna out here. I'm done about the heat for this next 2 minutes, I promise. We got our AFC housing. She is all modded up. We got our power-driven diesel foot in there, our full travel kit, our fitting for our AFC Live. Dom just got finished putting the AFC Live fitting into the head there, which is it's exactly identical to this one up here. It just screws right into the side of the head. So I guess let's throw this AFC Live, or excuse me, this AFC housing back on top of the pump, and then we'll move on to putting governor springs in it, and we should be done. So let's do this. Now this should just, yep, drop right down in there. Is these the bolts for it? Pipe plug pulled off the side of the injection pump. You pull this off to reveal the governor springs. And normally you got to fish around in the motor and try to get it turned over the exactly right spot to find them because they spin around inside the injection pump. But we are just extremely lucky, I guess, because as soon as I took them off, took this plug off, look at there. The governor springs are right in front of the hole, exactly where they need to be. Now there are 2 sets of governor springs. We'll have to take this set out, then turn the engine over about halfway and then take the other set out. But we should be able to get it done pretty easily. Oh, I hope so anyway. I'm tired. I won't go home and take a nap. All right, let's do this. All right, so we got this thing pretty much put back together. Looks like we damn near sweat ourselves to death. Dom is gonna get in there. We hooked one of the batteries up. We're gonna crank it over for just a second so we can blow all the stuff out of the delivery valves if there was any dirt that got in when we changed them. Intercooler tube, fire it up, and then go home and take a nap. Or actually go get dinner. We need to go get dinner. We're hungry. Dom wants to go to the strip club too. Dom's girlfriend, if you're watching, I swear I did not bring up the idea, but he wanted to go up to the strip club. I am a son of God. I don't want him to do that. But he was like, let me see them. So guys, it is done. We got our new injectors in there, our new delivery valves, our AFC Live kit, and our governor springs. We have done a lot to this truck. Now, she has got a lot of fueling modifications done, and I don't know if I got the fuel pulled back just enough on it. It is going to smoke a lot because the turbo we got on is just too small for what we're doing, but that will be in the future. Don't worry, guys. Now, before we get too far, make sure you guys leave a like on this video if you're excited to see the fummins make some real power. All right, let's take it for a drive, see how our 2 hamburger 0 to 60 goes now. Now, before we take it for a drive, I'm going to say this truck is going to smoke a lot, and that's not what I'm looking for. Is I want just good performance. I want a little puff of smoke, then it clears up when it builds boost. That is perfect. I may joke around about blowing a lot of smoke a lot of times, but it's not my forte. It's not what I like to do. I just like something that performs correctly. But we've got way too much fuel for as much air as we got on this truck at the moment, which means we got big injectors, big stuff like that, and just not enough turbo for it. But we're going to take it out for a short test drive, and then we'll probably come back, do a little bit of tuning on the pump, try to tune it back a little more. But I about guarantee whenever I put my foot down, smoke is going to come out. Let me show you what I mean. I'm not getting into this thing at all. I'm just barely burping it a little bit, just giving it just a little love tap on the throttle, and this is what it does. As you can see, it's got a little bit of smoke, but we can tune it back a little bit more until we get the big turbos. But before we do that, let's take it for a drive and see how it drives. All right, we're on our way down the hill. Maiden voyage, here we go. Hopefully it's better than the maiden voyage of the Titanic. That one didn't go real great. All right, so we're out here on the gravel road. Let's see what she's got. Oh my God. Damn. It has got a lot more power than it started off being. Oh my God, we've got at least 300 more donkeys under there.
Are we doing 60 yet?
Yeah, we're past 60.
Well, I didn't have time to eat 2 hamburgers.
I'm gonna say it's better than 35 pounds of boost. It's a freaking beast, guys. Well, it does smoke a lot, but it's not nearly as bad as I thought it'd be once it gets out on the road and builds a boost, but it still is too much. So we still have a couple adjustments we need to do to the pump. We'll take and back off the pre-boost screw a little bit and just kind of mess with that a little bit. But I am really, really happy with it. I mean, it freaking hauls. We was coming up the gravel road, and I was still spinning tires all the way to 3rd, 4th gear. I mean, it was awesome. And then the little traction control light pops on the dash, and the computer's like, I have no control. I can't stop it, Captain. Fuel setup is an absolute boss. So all we need is a bigger turbo, or 2 turbos. Yeah, I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. I'd like to go twins, but we'll probably just go with 1 bigger turbo. This is shaping up to be my absolute dream truck. Well, like I said there earlier, if you liked the video, make sure you leave a like down below. That tells YouTube that we're good guys. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. And you know what? Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time.